Hey, this is Tanisha, and I am going to be sharing with you a sketch of a car wash and beauty salon. And I had so much fun with this building, but I want to share some things that I learned. And actually, this is my second take because I recorded the entire audio for this video and realized when I was done that I was on mute. That was really frustrating, but that's okay. We'll do it again. Hopefully it'll be as good as the last time I recorded it. Anyways, here I am doing some pen sketching over my pencil marks that I already had made. And basically what I want to share is just some things that I learned with this watercolor painting. First thing, take your time to draw. I got so excited about the colors that I was going to use for this painting that I just said, I saw the windows I didn't draw them well, but I was so excited to get to the painting part that I just said, forget it. I don't care. Let me just go ahead and let's just keep going. And so the windows were kind of wonky, but in the end, I ended up liking it anyway. I really enjoyed it, how this came out. So one of the things that you're going to find is that I'm trying to not think about being perfect. And yes, there's nothing wrong with being perfect and showing perfect art. We all have different skill levels, and there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people have been doing art for a long time, and they tend to just make less mistakes because they're just better at it. But I'm sure they have days they make bad art. And I want to be a channel you can come to and see the real thing. You see like when it works and when it doesn't work, and when I make mistakes. And sometimes I find that I end up liking it anyway, and other people end up liking it. So it's okay to make mistakes. One of the first things I wanted to talk about, or not first things, I just talked about the drawing part of it. So just taking more time to draw, and when you see something that doesn't look right, fix it. I see a few things with my drawing I could have done better, but I'm not worried about it because I think sketching is about, technically, if you're out urban sketching, it's about catching the essence of the place. It's not about perfection. It is good to have an understanding of how you should draw a building, or how things should go in terms of when you're using perspective in a painting. But I think over time you just get better with those things as you keep practicing and keep taking different courses and things like that. Another thing I want to point out is it is a good idea to plan your colors. What I usually do is I take my cheap watercolor paper and I'll mix some colors and find a good green and figure out what blue I like, and then I'll determine what colors I use. So for this painting, I had planned the colors, and every color in here was only made out of 3 colors, which is my last point. It's really good to learn how to use 3 colors to do everything. So I've used my 3 colors to paint these buildings, to make grays, to make black, and to make brown. And none of the colors I used were black or brown or gray. So I used a blue, I used a yellow, and I used a red, and I made all the colors here. And so it's really good to practice making your own colors so that you can utilize them instead of using straight out the tube. I know some people don't prefer to do a lot of mixing, but I think it's a valuable lesson. It's one that I enjoy, so it's really good to do different color studies and things like that. I plan to share some of that on the channel as well at some point. But yeah, I just really want to share just the importance of planning your colors. And I think there's definitely a place for just not planning and just being free. I think that's great too. You're learning how to pick out some colors that look like they go together and just going for it. I think we learn by taking chances and practicing and trying different things. And one of the things I want to point out is that this sketchbook is amazing. This is the Jerry Artarama Soho sketchbook that I talked about in my previous video. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. And also, before I go any further, if you like what you're seeing, please click the like button. I really appreciate your support. But anyways, I continue. This sketchbook is doing so well. It doesn't cost that much. That's why I really like to tell people about it. But again, I really love this green that I'm putting on. It just looks so good. One of the things that I was focusing on in this painting is trying to capture, there's some areas of the building that had more yellow on it. There were some areas of the building that was just more green. So I tried to really work on capturing different greens in this building. I really like it. And honestly, I don't think I prefer just a straight color, although I've done it on some buildings, but I'm learning that I really like some variety. But also, if you take a look, you can see the little brown on the window. Again, I used the 3 colors to create that, and I just think it's so cool to be able to create your own brown out of 3 colors. Yeah, it does take more work, but it's worth it. I mean, it's really worth it. So right now I'm just putting the little brown that I see in the picture everywhere. And let's see. So now I'm about to put some black paint in here, which again I made from the 3 colors. So anyways, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is that, oh, there's the black that I made. And I'll probably have to layer this a couple times just to get it a little bit darker. But when you use a black you made, it's so much more lively. And yeah, looks really, it was really good. It was really fun doing this. So so unfortunately, I hate that I lost my last audio because I had some really good things to say. But one of the things that I want to say is that it is just good to, one of the things that I've dealt with making art, especially since having a change from abstract art, I dealt with a lot of art block. Like I'll get to the sketchbook and I'll already start thinking, oh, am I going to be able to do this? Is it going to come out right? And one of the things I really personally try to work on is not having a perfectionist mentality. I know I'm not perfect, and I'm actually happy I'm not perfect, and that's something I can admit. I'm not perfect, but I think sometimes we sit down to do art, we start to think about, the outcome before we even start. And one of the things I really want to figure out is how to just get past that. And I think one of the ways I got past that when I was doing abstract art was when I would put a timer on when I was making art. And that really helped me not think, because all you're thinking now is like, I gotta hurry up and get this done before the timer's over. Now with this type of art, it would be a little bit different, because it would, the drawing can take some time. So it will be different. But I think we just have to figure out ways to not let that kind of art block or mentality or whatever comes up that tries to stop us from doing art. We just have to learn how to push through and just start doing something. I think one of the things that I did was I started doing some color studies. Like if I felt like that kind of block coming to hit me, where it was trying to make me feel like, oh, I gotta get it perfect, and is it gonna work, and all those doubts, I started doing like color swatching and color tests, and I think that really helped me just get started. And then sometimes I've tried to just say, just do it, just start. It's okay if it's a mistake. I have to really have a talk with myself. And so I think, we have to remember, that's why I want to say this channel, I don't want my channel to be one where you always come see perfect art. And I don't have anything against perfect art. I think people are at different levels for sure. But anyways, I feel like sketchbooks are supposed to be for learning and for growing. And even me sharing this, I don't really have to share it, but I'm just sharing it, and I'm sharing it even though it's not perfect. And I think that's what sketchbooks are for. It's what I believe it's for. It's for making mistakes. It's for trying different things out. All my pages are not perfect. I've made mistakes, but what I can say is that every time we do something in our sketchbook, I personally learn a lesson, a valuable lesson. So like for this one, I should have taken time to practice those little branches in the background. I should have taken more time to practice the little wild grass on the left. I just kind of let myself go free, kind of abstract in a way, and I just did whatever. And but again, in the end, I end up liking it. But I do want to work on practicing different things. And so, it's okay. That's what sketchbooks are for. One of the things that I've done with my sketchbook is I've practiced how to make shadows. What is a good method for making the shadows, and I had fun with that, and that's something I will continue to study, because shadows, there's so much to learn. So I think we have to just make sure that we're not afraid to use our sketchbooks to practice, to make mistakes, to mess things up. Everything doesn't have to come out right. You don't have to share everything, and that's something I'm constantly trying to work on. And so it's just something I have to continue to work through, and I think we all have to continue to work through. We just have to not let our minds tell us that when we sit down to make art that it has to be perfect, because it doesn't. So we have to have fun with it. So right now I'm just putting on the finishing touches, and honestly, pretty soon I feel like the thing that really made this painting will be the words that you see on the wall. It really just popped it, just made it even better. And so that's really once I felt like, okay, this is going well. Next week I'll be sharing a building sketch that I did in my Etcher sketchbook, which is 100% cotton, and it looks pretty good. There's a lot of things I learned there that I hope to share with you so that it can help you maybe have a better experience. So right now, as you can see, I'm doing this sketch at home. I do plan to get outside and do more sketches, but I will say another bonus tip here: if you're interested in urban sketching, I think there's nothing wrong with going out and just doing it, because it's not about perfection. But I have learned some really valuable things starting out in the house that I don't know if I would have learned as quick out sketching. But I do think there is value in making the step to get out there and sketching. You don't want to prolong it forever. But I will say it is good to take some time to practice at home, take some classes, and really learn, some things. But there's a time to really get out there and just do it. So here's my favorite part with the words. I really, really love it. Now I'm just putting some finishing touches, because I could go further. I could add more layers, but this isn't about making it super detailed, and I really like where it is so far, so I'm just good with it. But anyways, I look forward to sharing the artwork for next week and the lessons learned from that, and just showing you the 100% cotton paper and how that turned out. I also used a limited palette on that, so I look forward to talking about that. So that's exciting. I really hope you'll just continue to check out the next videos, and I hope you learned something. Definitely let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I always love hearing from you all, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope you get something out of it too, because this isn't just about what I'm doing. I want to help other people. So anyways, it was really good chatting with you. Have a good one.